Good morning to you all. Soumya Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Chirendra, Jai Swami Narayan Sairam. Very warm welcome from Arogyam once again, and also a sunny day today. So, mindfulness. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, the practice of mindfulness has gained significant attention as a powerful tool for managing stress, enhancing well-being, and fostering personal growth. Yet, as with my or any endeavor, worthwhile endeavor, mindfulness practice comes with its own set of challenges. Did you know there are about 17 challenges which you can start off with? One in mind I have is for restless mind. That's a challenge. Restless mind, and solution for that is accept and redirect. There's another challenge, lack of time. We always have to make time for yourself. Time is not going to come to you. You have to make the time. And to start that, small and integrate. But before I carry on, let's get Nehaji to explain this beautiful session today. Nehaji, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Pannaji. I think you already have questions and answers together with 17th challenge. I didn't know about that. So if everybody else is also, as we share and swap details, please share those 17 challenges in between if we're missing out. But I thought, because each one of our journey and each one of our focus, mind, and the practice of meditation has to be different. It is different. So let's talk about challenges. What do you think this challenges of your mind or practice of meditation which is holding you back? So I would like you to take a moment to write it or talk, and whatever you're comfortable with. In the chat box, or if you don't want everybody to just read it, just do it, direct message to Arogyams. I will see and we'll take it from there. I would like to hear, what do you think mind is challenged with, or the meditation practice which you find it difficult? What is difficult? What is troubling? Pannaji.
It
Yes.
would be actually, sorry, it would be really nice for everyone to switch their windows open so we can see who we're talking to.
I agree.
Videos.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we cannot interact like this. Yesterday, for example, I am now bringing this up because I think it's very annoying for the speaker. For example, we had Herbal Herb yesterday. Not one window was open, and I'm thinking, Mradula will be thinking that, what am I doing here? You might as well listen to a radio instead of, being on the video. Because if it was me, I would be really angry and annoyed, thinking, I can't see any faces. What am I sitting here and blabbering away? It's sad. It's very, very sad because you need to interact with the doctors as well. If the doctors can see you, they can, be enthusiastic to talk more, give you more advice. Like this, not one window was open, and I'm thinking that is very wrong. So, similarly, for meditation as well, if we interact, we get more energy if we're looking at each
Also,
other.
for a doctor or a therapist or someone like me who is talking about mind, it is
Yeah.
important to see your expression because your face is the reflection of your mind a lot of time. I recently had been in a walk-in and I am full of energy, full of uh, everything of my understanding, talking to patients. Suddenly, one of the doctors of my team, she came to me and she said, "You're not well." And I said, "How can you say that? And I haven't told anybody that I'm not keeping well." And she said, "I just know looking at your face, no matter how good you, but this is how the doctors, therapists, and the one who is connecting on the mental level, they can see you and they can actually answer without you speaking your question. So even if you're on screens, it is important for us to see you because that's how we relate, we connect. And we not only connect with your facial expression, but actually with your pain. So it would be nice, as Panaji said, but I would like to hear also if you can start writing in the chat or can start talking. Just one message. Everybody else has no challenges. It is nice
hello.
not to have challenges.
Good morning, Dr. Neha. I'm on holiday, so I'm using the Wi-Fi here.
No, that's fine.
I would just say, I think my challenge must be, or might be, I'm expecting something. Maybe, I don't know what to expect or something, where to focus, or that's where I am struggling, or that's my challenges. I can't just let go because I think I am expecting something. This is why, some of your meditations when I do, when I asked you, the Gita ones, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to feel or what? And you said I was supposed to my mind, the desires were supposed to come in there, or the dharma was supposed to come in there. So maybe it was something new I'm not used to, because the only kind of meditations I'm used to is visualization, which I find those difficult because I'm unable to visualize. And at the moment, the only thing I can relate to is the sound, I just vibrate. I can vibrate with the sound, or that I can relate to. So maybe something to do around these expectations of what is meditation. I don't really know. Maybe that's where I'm struggling. Okay, thank you.
Thank
To
you,
be
Sweta.
connected with yourself, understanding what really is mindfulness. Just whatever comes in your mind, you just cannot utter those words out. You have to be very, very mindful. So that hence you have to be very mindful of yourself, what you're going to speak across and how they're going to take. That's my challenge as well. Kumud Ben, you'll have to unmute yourself first.
I think what you're trying to say is choose your words, digest them before you speak them out, so that you don't, that you have absorbed it, but otherwise the second person who it comes across, probably the communication is wrong. One doesn't understand you. That's my opinion.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Anilaji, unmute yourself.
I think personally in my mind there are lots of thoughts going through, and to let them go, it takes time for me. So it's a worry, basically. I worry what people will say and all that sort of things. It goes through my mind a lot.
Well, I brought up two challenges already is restless mind, lack of time. There's impatience. Am I right?
Yes.
Nehaji? Impatience, overthinking. Nehaji?
Yes, yes, it is. Okay, so I'll start with pain because I also have a question about physical injury, and then I'll take all of this, no matter how many challenges we are talking, they all are relating to mind and emotions and all the component of our manas. So all is not different, they are all different expressions. So again, let's take physical pain. So when we have, there is a question for me, a fracture in the elbow and a lot of pain, and of course painkiller is not working. This is consistent, whether it's an acute injury or it's a chronic pain. Most of the time, painkillers are not really helping long term. They are temporary relief. But then pain has to go slowly. If it's an acute pain, we say not to move until the pain subsides or comes down. It's a recent injury, then we ask not to move or do anything. Just wait, breathe, as long as you can rest, because it's a healing process. Body will be healing. A broken bone, it's going to take time, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on what sort of fracture, but 3 to 6 months pain to go. And then physiotherapy, this is a consistent recommendation. What in this time, what is best helpful is again relaxation, breath work, calming down, because the pain center is still in the brain. So whether it's a physical pain or it's an emotional pain, most of the time what we ignore is the injury emotionally, mentally. And a lot of time the mind which goes on overthinking, restlessness, a lot of worry cycle, that somewhere that injury has been left untreated. That injury could be on the emotional side of the mind or the mental side of it, where you have been shocked, or a trauma, or life experiences, or simply the life changes which has come as a shock. None of this actually comes without anything. I met a wonderful, amazing, intelligent boy yesterday, and I say boy, he's just entering into the adulthood and still new to this new life, So I still see a young child exploring his way and expanding his wings to the world. And very intelligent, very clever, and last 3 months he suddenly lost everything. Interest. And the worst part is, clinically it's been diagnosed as depression. And the first thing what you read and hear, when there is a depression, there is changes like this, there is one chemical your brain is not producing, so something lacking. Now a young mind thinking that I am not normal, because something is lacking in my brain, it's not making anymore, that's mean I'm not normal. And all the functions in the body, to the brain, to the mind, focus, concentration, energy, going back to the world, it's still young, so he wants to learn and make his own life with his career, but he can't do it. So now it's a cry for help. What has happened here? Nothing happened without a reason. Now everybody is talking, it's all of our stories, We are talking about our mind. They're talking about restlessness. It's not focusing. What has happened? Where is it dragging, taking you, going back and forth? What thoughts coming? There are thoughts which are reason to come. Just like pain doesn't come without a reason. Something happened. An injury has happened.
Would you call this frustration?
Which one, Kumaji?
You said, this that a child is very bright, but is unhappy, and you call it depression. Can you also call it frustration?
No, clinically diagnosis for depression, frustration, and a clinical term. When the doctors see you, They say,
Yeah.
what the problem? Well, you're clinically depressed. So the clinical depression is the
Okay.
diagnosis he was given, and the antidepressants to produce that hormone, the
Mhm.
chemical in the brain. So again, we all know the drill, whether
Yeah.
it's a clinically anxiety or it's a depression or it's panic, we name it. And the doctors, when they name it, that's a medication, then they prescribe you. But yes, frustration is also a collateral damage, because when you were completely normal in your own way, understanding the world, and suddenly your world collapsed, you don't know how to deal with it, and then suddenly everybody putting label on you, you are naturally frustrated. Now, this is, I won't say the different label name. What I will say is pain, let's say, yeah?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
just like pain in the body does come because of an injury or a fracture or a surgery or an accident or just a sprain because you just woke up wrong, you know, some muscle sprain, nerve sprain, or sciatica, you name it. But there is an underlying cause, something you did or something which happened to your body now has consistent pain. It stays, it won't go away. Any of these injuries and surgery, what we have learned, 3 months acute, but then after that it becomes chronic until you make an effort to do physio or yoga therapy to release the pain after injury. The pain won't go. A lot of us also know that this pain remains and then expanded. Then expanded like anything. First, it was just the back. Now it's coming in the feet. Now it's going up. Now we have a lot of other issues as well. You name it, and it's just underlying starting point was somewhere and is now expanding. Mind is no different. Is no different. Something must have happened to trigger the emotional or mental pain as a symptoms that you are agitated, you're worried, you had suffered something which now keeps coming back. Just a reminder that don't hurt yourself again. Pain is a reminder. Pain is just a signal. It's not a problem. Pain is a signal, because if I have hurt myself, my body and my brain keeps a memory. This is where you get hurt. So every time that pain is a reminder, don't do it, don't stretch it, don't do this, because then you may hurt yourself. Similarly, our mind, our agitation, our worry, restlessness, impatience, you name all these terms, for me, it's just a signal. Your mind is saying, don't hurt yourself again. It's just trying to protect you. Now, what is it protecting from? Does the pain remain in the mind somewhere? So taking this example, this is a hypothetical. None of you are real here. I mean, in terms of this example, I'm not taking any of your details. Now, this boy, I asked him, clinically depression, I don't want to hear. I know the drill from here on. Tell me what happened before. And he said he lost someone he was very close with 3 months before. When this started, the starting point was a death. Death of the loved one he was from the childhood very close with. Now, grief is the cause of the pain. Well, first thing. The second, then, he was falsely accused of something which he didn't do it. A 23 years old boy, falsely accused of something. Nobody believed him, because for him, growing boy could do anything like this. But then he said, I'm innocent, and nobody heard. Not believed, not heard, not trusted. His faith on his own loved ones shattered twice in a very short span. Now, can you imagine an adult, even our age, understanding right, one after one, giving a stroke to like this, to body or to mind? How long would it take to recover? Have faith again, being trusted again, believing in people around you and your loved ones. It will take time. It will take effort, and no one to support on this difficult time. And you are locked into your own world to say, stay here until we say so. So again, not knowing, uncertainty. Even coming out of that from 3 months, trying to live his life, he's constantly seeing those same people, same loved ones, same relation. He will not forget what they have done recently. He may not ever forget what they have done. None of us mind forgets that. None of our mind forgets that. The moment you see the same people, situations, circumstances, the memory and the flashes comes back, just like pain, because it wants to remind you, be careful. This worry, these expressions of the mind is not alarm of its own. The alarm is something, what is still coming in front of you, and you haven't been able to cope from all this time. Now, the worst part here, that a clinical diagnosis is just not helpful either, because now first the rest of the world abandoned him, not believing. Now, with this injury, what he has suffered, brain and body is trying to cope. But then what we do, we label it and we say, well, there is something lacking now. You are not normal. That's like cherry on the top. You give him another stroke, given with the medical diagnosis. The good part was that he is intelligent mind. So there's still part of something which you understand that it's not all my fault altogether. You know, I'm not solely abnormal. Something happened. And I said, well, that's a good news. For me, it's a good news that some part of your brain is logical, understanding, and still making sense and wanting to make sense. You want to go back to your life again. You want your life back. And the best starting point is, as long as you want your life back, you want to be yourself again, you want to take this all behind you. That's the good part. That's the only good part. And then that means that everything can be resolved. What do we do with injury? We rest, we breathe, we cope, understanding, accepting, we go along with the pain. We don't hurt anymore. Now, here, what every one of us want is just make it stop. You all are, we all are, I'm not saying any particular, we all have done that. It's a human tendency. We just want it to be under control because we don't like it to be uncontrolled, because people don't like us to see without control. We all are judged for all our behaviors. So we put more restriction on it. I can't do this. I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't be feeling this. Well, this is normal to feel. Yes, Kumudji?
We are talking about disappointment or with nerve pain. The other thing is that I feel I have to learn to live with it. You
No.
work on it, but to live with that pain, is that a normal thing? Or you say you have to get rid of it, or you have to treat it? Yeah.
Yes.
What would you say?
No one deserves to live with the pain, whether any pain I'm talking, mental or emotional or physical.
Yeah.
We are given this life. Okay, purpose of the life. According to Shastras, now I'm talking this whole understanding, what I really quote and do is the Shastra knowledge, Vedas. A purpose of life, we all talk about self-realization, we all talk about peace, everything. But actually, when we talked about the Shastra, what they understand about human life, the purpose of life is sukha prapti, dukkha nivriti. I could be other way around, but getting rid of dukh and finding the happiness is the purpose of human life. And how do you do that? You have ways given. Now, Advaita says self-realization, you will get rid of the dukkha and you will find uninterrupted peace and happiness in your life. Self-realization is not purpose of life. Purpose of life is finding happiness which stays with you and getting rid of your dukkhas, pain. Your pain is the purpose. So how can we say live with the pain when the whole purpose of human life is getting rid of the pain and finding your happiness and be happy always? Self-realization, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, yoga, whatnot we do, the whole reason is to get rid of pain, dukkha.
Mhm.
and finding the happiness. So please don't ever cope. The worst advice as a professional, anybody, we all have learned to give that because we know there is no way out of this. So we say, learn to live with it because we just want this to be accepting, mind to accept that and find ways to not cry and find and be agitated all the time. You know what? This is what I have to live with it. So at least you are not crying out loud anymore. But that's not the answer. The answer in every way that you purpose. Remember the purpose.
Yeah.
So I will never say live with it. I will always say, well, accept it that you have got it, but now we got to find a way to get rid of it. What's the point of knowledge then? What's the point of Shastras?
Yeah.
Vedas can't be wrong. One thing I know, the knowledge, the pure knowledge is there for a reason and the ways are there. So let's use that. Let's use that. Don't live with it. So first phase is to accept, yes, I have got it. And that's where not that I have to live with it for rest of my life, but I've got it. Now I want to see what I can do with it. Yes. Then finding the way. Finding the way is what has happened. Injury in the body, okay, take time. If it's an acute phase, still fresh, 3 months, that is, you wait. You wait body to heal. If it's a trauma, if it's very recent grief, bereavement, a death, or losing yourself, losing your job, losing a relationship, losing your home, it's still fresh in the mind. 3 months, 3 months. Let mind to cope with the changes. So not to do anything harsh. Don't do your way where you can find relaxation. You can cry. Crying is a beautiful natural response we are gifted with. You know, in the 13 days in India, I never understood this until I actually learned brain so well. In India, when somebody dies, you know, everybody comes. Everybody keep you continuously make you cry. You know, or he was so good, he cries, then you cry again. After 13 days, you may not even feel like crying anymore. You know, all that burden has been lifted because everybody helps you to cry. And if you don't cry, people make you cry because then otherwise the shock will remain in the heart. You know, if you're not crying, it's something abnormal. Everybody do everything to make you cry. Natural responses to cope with, to accept that. And then the celebration starts. Celebration of the gone person who has gone. Feeding the brahmanas, doing these ceremonies, it's a celebrating his life and praying for his next life. It's a kind of celebrating his life. When do we celebrate like this? Because now mind has accepted that, okay, whatever pain I had of this loss, but then now I have to also accept that his life further continues. He's going into his next life, or he's going to Vaikuntha, wherever he is. We pray, we worship, and we find peace into doing that. But in this country, or in any country now, we don't have these rituals anymore. Mind doesn't know how to cope on its own. Someone has to help. Whether it's grief, if it's fresh, 3 months, any recovery. After that, when it starts to become chronic and now it's taking different shape, you take body pain or you take mind. Both will take different shape. Now, body pain will start to change because if it's after injury, the pain stays. If you don't do anything, it stays. Where it stays all over the place. It can move somewhere else. It can come to somewhere else. The pain is changing. Now, the doctors to us, all of us give different diagnoses of this pain. Mind is the same. After injury, after acute phase, it's changing its pain. Now, earlier it was dull, but now it's impatient. Now it's anxious. Now it's on the panic mode. You name all these symptoms, it's all just the expression of a change where it's finding its way to cope differently. Your stressors are still there. Believe me, the stresses will constantly will be there. It's still triggering your mind to find help, but now it's because you're not listening, because you're not doing anything to recover from that. Now it's giving you different ways to see the problems, different expressions. So none of this is a problem. Let's talk how we recover from whatever has happened. And if it's how many years, that's how you count how much time it may take to recover. So my best guess, when he said 3 months, all this happened. And I said, well, 3 weeks, all I need. And you will be back to life. You'll be doing everything what you want. And he said, really, 3 weeks? And I said, everybody says 6 to 7 weeks. And I said, well, that's consistent. But for me, your intelligent mind, you will be off, you go in 3 weeks. But if you say 3 years, 6 years, 30 years, I would say, well, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, all you need. Depending, again, how much you're ready to let go. Not let go as if forget about it, release it. None of this will work. Meditation will not help. Because, again, if I take it back on the Shastra learning, it says Vijnana, the knowledge is the key. From the knowledge, the mind finds the way. From the mind, then the rest healing starts. Okay, what do? We can't just sit and wait. After 3 months, it's not a waiting time, it's a doing time, because you have to heal. You have to get back to normalcy again. You all remember COVID. We all had been locked down. We all had been scared to come out. When lockdown opened up after 2 years of going back and forth in lockdown and shutting down, when we finally came in 2021 or 2022, everybody says new normal, just get on with it. It took time for us. We are still into new normal. We are still worried about so many things. We're still worried about new variants. For certain time, we were still watching the new variant. What's this going to do? Can we go back into lockdown? But new normal, we get on. We're still going on. After finally, it took 3 years for us to enjoy the sunshine, not being scared of people anymore and not being scared out and about. 3 years it took us. 3 months of lockdown, and all of us are in 3 years go before we come back to the life. So you cannot expect mind to just cope on its own or continue with a pain. If you cope with the pain and you decide or you think of, this is my new normal, I have to live with it. Imagine you were living with a disability constantly, because pain is still there. It will interrupt in your life. It will continue to grow. So the new normal is, let me find a way to get rid of it. How do we do that? That's completely our choice. Now, when I say our choice, means personalization. I'm different, you are different. There is no one pill fits to all, not one box fitting all. So what do I like? Let's find my ways of being happy again. So what do I need? First, I have to understand what I was happy about before or now, because I'm not the same person anymore. After an injury in the mind or body or in life, we are not same anymore. So what my new normal is? Yes, Kumarji.
I think with the experience of COVID, the attitude in life changed. What was a normal thing, you suddenly have changed to how you mixing with people, how you shopping. The whole attitude or the lifestyle has changed, and we've adjusted to it. So that's what it's done to us. And
exactly.
And what is that process? What would you call it? How would you say?
Adaptation.
Adaptation.
Adaptation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's adapting.
Yeah.
Now, we don't adapt. The worst part is we don't like to adapt. Yeah. Now, I was a person, a complete different personality. Something happened and I'm changed. What my mind sees, I've lost myself. It's a self-grief. Yeah. Losing a loved one is when we say grief, the self-grief leaves the same hollow in your heart, in your mind. Your mind is still not coping. You're not the same person anymore. But you will never be the same person anymore because you're also changing. The experience, the new normal, you are a new person. You're more stronger. But what we see is, I'm weaker now. I cry often. I used to be so strong. Well, that's the learning.
Yeah.
So accepting the adaptation is the part of life. Everybody adapts. You see the animal kingdom, they adapt constantly with the environment. Yes, we adapt. We are not wearing woolens in this hot sunny weather. We adapt. But with the inner universe, with our inner world, we don't adapt. I'm feeling agitated. Everybody says breathe. Well, feeling agitated, then you're putting like more woolen in the sunny, bright day. It's hot already. It's on the volcano already. And I'm saying put the cool water or put more blankets. None of this is an answer. Allow it a passage to clear, not being burning there. Finding a way, adapting to your inner world is what is lacking most of the time. And this is where mind is giving different red flags. Now it's on agitation. Now it's restless. Constantly thoughts are coming. What are they saying? Do we ever stop and listen what my thoughts are saying constantly? That thoughts will tell you what it's troubled with. A lot of time the thoughts are useless also. You don't have to pay attention every thought. Now I'm thinking, what do I do after that? I'm going to watch a movie or sleep or go out for a walk. Now this is a thought. This is harmless thoughts, you know. That is a conscious mind constantly planning and giving you different ways. But when I'm talking about painful thought, a pain signal or a thought which is constantly reminding of worry, agitation, panic, anxiety, depression. These are the thoughts which is bringing pain on the surface. Why they are bringing pain on the surface? What are they talking about? What it's relating to? I am anxious. Everybody, whoever I speak, and I constantly talk about my phobias as well. Not have phobias, but I have one phobia which I've never recovered, and I don't think I've been trying to recover. Dogs, very unusual one, but the dogs. Small, big, puppy, no matter the size and what they do, adorable, they don't even bark, regardless what they do. The dog, you name it, and I have a phobia which comes on the surface. Now, one of the time when I'm preaching this, of course I did work on me.
Yeah.
Why I do have this phobia. So in the childhood, when I was very young, nothing happened to me. I saw two big size gigantic ones running after my two brothers, and they were running, and I thought, my God, they will not survive. They did survive, of course. They were pets, so they were harmless, but they were running. And looking at what dogs can do to a human being, I thought they are cruel. And that still remains with myself, that anxiety became over the years phobia. Then no matter whatever they do, until they are tied, I'm safe. I don't kick my phobia. My phobias don't kick in. If they are loose without a belt, then I'm all over the place. I have to find the child's play area to stay in, because that's where dogs not allowed. This is what all of our is. Everybody's mind is like that. What the string in the past goes, might go to childhood trauma. It was now my indirect trauma. I mean, I didn't suffer, but I saw. So whether it's seen, experienced, or heard from someone else, regardless, that's childhood trauma. Is it going all the way? Where the string's going? If it is going, what do I do now? That's where the therapy starts. We all are looking at symptoms. None of us looking at the cause. Yes?
Yeah.
The cause is the answer, not the symptoms. What all the challenges you have told me, all are the symptoms. I'm more interested in the cause, because the answer, Sukha Prapti, Dukha Nivriti, the purpose, the therapy, the answers lies in the root cause, not in the symptoms. I have a terrible migraine this morning. Well, that's a symptom. Yes. What happened? I didn't eat my dinner last night, and then I was thinking too much. And then I slept tired. So I didn't clear my head. I didn't had anything to eat. Migraine is just bound to come. But the root cause was somewhere else. And that's when we rectify, the symptoms disappear. All body and mind wants is you to look after this problem. If you look after this problem, the symptoms won't flag up anymore. Are you all agreeing?
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. So let's talk about root cause then. Whatever the root cause is, it could be anything and everything. Believe me, when I say that anything and everything, nothing is impossible for brain to recover, because this is one beautiful organ which rewires constantly, which creates new neurons, which makes new networks, which creates new cells also. It's not dead forever. It can create new, and it can also find new ways. So when an organ which is self-sufficient to heal itself, all it needs is that you're looking after it. You're not exposing it to anymore. And how do we help it? Not exposing to means with the knowledge. We have a logical mind as well. Brain is not just an organ which like heart or kidney. It has its own logical center. With the knowledge, you're giving it a key that I'm safe. As long as you're not on acute response, your logical mind is ready to work all the time. And don't trigger your acute responses. Fear, fight and flight responses. And every time you remind it, I'm safe, I am going to work on it. Yes, your logical mind will kick in. Manomaya kosha will kick in. It will start to find ways. Every time I tell all of you that don't tell problems because don't say it's difficult. Yeah, when we are doing Bhagavad Gita chanting, learning to chant, even Ganesh Atharva, you said, a few people said, it's very difficult. I said, don't say that word. Because the moment you say word, it's difficult. One part, you are hearing yourself. One part of the mind is already shutting off. It's not my cup of the tea. I like easy things, yeah. But the moment you say the same thing, it's challenging, but I like challenges. Bring it on. You know, you're already ready. You already have instructed your brain. Start to learn this new thing, and it'll start to create new neurons. That's why for dementia, for forgetfulness, for brain health, all this is important step because it helps to rewire. It helps to work with your brain health because brain is working now, functioning, challenging. It likes challenges. We say we like peace, but actually your brain doesn't like peace. It finds it boring. Yeah. It likes challenges, the happiness, the adrenal drive, excitement. That's what triggers it. Yeah. Make it exciting. Why do you want to be boring? None of our shastras are boring. Can you even imagine? Every shastras, even bhakti yoga, is full of emotion, full of happiness, full of singing, dancing. Natya Shastra is dance, enjoy. All of this is exciting. It's reviving. None of it's dull and boring. All full of colors. When you talk about it, you feel the excitement. When you practice it, you know it drives you there. So exciting part, the enjoying part is part of every practice here. Meditation also. See how many colors you see in meditation, how many different practices you know, which makes you feel happy, peaceful. Peaceful is just a starting point, but actually you feel happy at the end. That's where your mind is so calm. So coming back, recovering it is, yes, Pragnaji.
So joining on this platform with you is so peaceful.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody feels that. And I will always I'll never tell you do this and do that, because your mind is the best guiding star. It knows what it needs. It knows exactly where you find it. You don't have to let go. It will let go when it's time. I'm not holding on to my pain anymore, because time, it will, when mind believes and sees perception, the sense organs it's connected with, when the sense organ giving information, the mind sees it and it says, well, I'm not in that situation anymore. It will let go. It will let go. You don't practice let go. Let go automatically happens when your mind is ready to leave it now. Do we worry about ghosts anymore? I know some of us may, but not anymore, because we understand they're not real. It's a childhood stories as a child, until mind is not ready to see this and not ready having this knowledge. It's a scare of the darkness. It says ghost in the dark. My little one does, my older one doesn't do that anymore, because he's already outgrown that age. Mind is ready to let go that fear. Naturally, effortlessly. Other than dog, I don't get scared of anything else. And that is also, I think I'm holding on to it. I'm not ready yet to let go. But otherwise, we are ready to face it. We are ready because it doesn't hurt us anymore. The mind let go. So again, to coming back, I can't let go. Well, because your mind is not ready. It's not finding you in a safe space yet. So it is not let go. So what do? We'll forget teaching your mind. Let's start listening your mind. Again, not everything. The one where it's bringing this pain and constant exposure, when it's hurting you now. Listen to it. It will give you the answer. What do I need? You all know the answer. You all know the answer. I know. You know why? Because you all have the knowledge. This knowledge is not what you gather. This knowledge is universal consciousness. We all are connected with that. How do we all know that hurting each other is wrong? Regardless whether somebody has told you or not. Yeah.
That's
We
our
have learned.
Shastra.
Because we are connected with Dharma already. It's just how strongly we are connected. The more you're connecting with yourself, the more you're connecting with the Shastras. Universal Dharma. There is two Dharmas. There is always two knowledge, two Dharmas. One is universal. Regardless which country, nation, it's like law. Regardless which country and nation, killing someone is still a crime. Regardless which country we are talking. Universal law. You can't hurt anybody. You shouldn't be doing it. That is universal law. The another is national law, the international laws. Some part of the countries there is not a law, but it's acceptable. The other part, it's still a law, it's a crime. And other is immorality. But again, that is depending on what society, what community, what part of the world. Again, we can go on and on about that debate, but universal law is still the same. So we all are connected. The same way, your mind knows the answer. It's time to listen, not shut it off, not channelize it, not tam it, not train it. Let's listen once and see what do we want now. You're in an age and a phase where you won't do something wrong. You know right and wrong by now. A 14-year onwards, every child also know what is right and wrong. Before that, also he knows, but it's time still shaping. His brain is still developing. So we give him the grace period till 18 years. But after that, you're ready. You know how to do it because your brain is fully functioning now. So just as a wrap up, please don't worry about symptoms. Symptoms are only there as a sign. They want it, your body or your mind wants you to focus. Take care of it. One child in the house is more crankier, more angrier, more annoying than the other. What do? We just focus more on the angrier one because he's asking for attention. There is something happening with him. The calmer one is already peaceful. So one part of your body or
I
one part of your mind. Yes, yes.
I actually walk away from my son. I mean, he's old enough, but his tantrum, I just walk away, thinking, let him, calm down, and then he'll come back and apologize to me once he's thought about it, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, you know your
Or I
son.
shouldn't have
Yeah.
played that."
And you know you're protecting yourself. It's nothing wrong there. At times we do. When do we walk away? When we know the other person will come back in the senses. Sometimes with our mind also, you should be doing it. If you know your mind, I know my mind. Yeah. When it's on the rise, I just divert myself because I know it will come down. This is not something to take care of. It will come down on its own at times because you know what to do. Exactly what I just said. You know what to do. You're the right person
Yeah.
only to decide what to do with your body and mind. If I have a migraine, if I have a pain, acute pain, I know whether to deal with it or it will go on its own. Well, it will go on its own. It'll take its time, it will go. So a walk away is also fine on those times. If you have an anger outburst, you know what your anger can do. So you know whether to hibernate or sing or just shout once and then come back or just write it down. How does it come down on its own? You know. Let it calm down then. Let's deal with it later. So this what
Very
Panaji
true.
just said is also an answer. Knowing is the answer.
Mhm.
There's no right and wrong in this. You know what you know best. Use that. That's the key.
Mhm. Lovely.
Okay. Any questions before we all go?
No,
Hope
I
I
think
did.
we will work on it, what you said.
It's always work in progress, If the only time this work in progress stops when we are not in this conscious world anymore, it's time to go. Because then we are not working here, we are working on the unmanifested. I like this Bhagavad Gita talks about it, but then also we had Vinayak ji, who also talked about from the Kundali and from astrology point of view, that till here you're in the manifested world, and then in the three cycles, then you are in unmanifested, 3 houses in that Kundali, you're in unmanifested, and then you come back into manifested. So we're still working in progress with our karma bounding and then deciding what next is coming up, unmanifested. But we're constantly work in progress. That's human life.
Dr.
You're,
Constant.
Neha, can I-
you're
Yes.
given us the tools, and now we have to apply them. That's it.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Smitaji, I missed you. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was just saying, those questions I raised at the beginning, can you just clarify or say a bit more on that?
Letting go.
Letting go, control, what to do.
Controlling, letting go. Yes, as I said, your mind is not ready yet to see or wanting, or it's still finding it comfortable. Let's give it time, because right now, I know I've been hearing you, and what I always have told you and everybody, so we are so logical. We have a logical mind, where we know this is what planning, execution, outcome, we need the whole roadmap. That's our logical mind. We need that. We have then another is emotional mind, our where we have feelings and emotions, and we don't want every roadmap. What we want is we can enjoy regardless. So it's just we planning a holiday. I am a person, I need everything, map everything in a packet, and then other part of me, we all are, where we don't want so much. I'm going on holiday, why do I need so many things? Just good clothes, relaxation, and just lie down and enjoy myself. So there's nothing wrong. It's just that what you're ready with, what you need. Even if you have a roadmap, if you have a logical mind, you're expecting what meditation should be, what you should be feeling. You're just wanting a roadmap because you want. But once you're on that journey and when you're ready, you start to enjoy without the map also, your mind is ready to let go. So until it's not happening, don't worry. Don't worry. You're still on the right path. You're not doing anything wrong. Its mind will drop it when it's ready. It's just like when you go on holiday, you don't need map anymore. You just drop it. You're just there and you're enjoying it now. But mind has to see that it doesn't need to hold on to that anymore.
So how can you accelerate that? How can you let this mind, tell it to let go, to let drop,
Till that time, enjoy even that guided journey. So if you think visualization is the one which you find it, that you're focused, then use that first tool, visualization, tools what you find it easy and where mind is holding on. And then afterward, give few seconds to let go or come back without visualization and see what happens. If mind doesn't find it really nice, come back on visualization. Start with few things, few minutes, few seconds, and then come back if it doesn't like it.
Yeah, my mind doesn't like visualization.
Yeah, so whatever you like, give few minutes to a change, or just go on as it likes it, because the whole idea is that it's not agitated. Even the meditation, if it doesn't like it, it's not a good meditation, good feeling to come out of it. So use those tools and techniques which it likes. And then rest, like pranayam or dharana, any practice of dharana also will start to give him different flavors. Use different flavors also in between your likings. Use different flavors and see whether does it like anything else. Is it ready to go on something else?
Okay, thank you.
There's nothing wrong finding these ways or even staying on that way. Acceleration when the time comes. Believe me, everything is on the right time. First time, I was so quick on this. I wanted to just experience this, and I asked my teacher. And first of all, I came back with a super logical mind of the human science. When they say pranamay kosha, manomay kosha, vignyanmay, and anandamay, where are they located, by the way, in the anatomy? And they said they are not in anatomy, they're beyond. And I said, it doesn't make sense. Your body, it has to be somewhere. And then my teacher finally gave up and he said, you know what, leave your human science, what you have read, anatomy and physiology. Just see this as a complete different science, complete different understanding. Until I dropped my first understanding, I just couldn't understand where this manomay kosha and vijnanam is coming and where it's located. I was always trying to pinpoint it. So then I had to shut off my complete memory and knowledge, what I know about it. And I thought, okay, this is one kind of science I learned. This is a different kind of science I'm learning. So then my mind was ready to understand. That's one way of doing it. Then the another is, when I said, I'm not feeling what you say I should be feeling, what do I do? Exactly on the same thing. And then he said, only prepare yourself. Self-realization will happen. All this, what I'm saying, will happen. You only prepare yourself. You prepare the grounding. It's just like building up and you're just preparing the grounds for that. It will happen on its own. So till that time, I would remind everyone, I would say the same what I was told, prepare yourself. Why these practices? When your mind is ready to dive in or to take this quantum jump or go into unconscious, letting go the conscious world completely, it will happen. You will not go wrong. It knows its way naturally. But what we do, we prepare ourselves. We continue to prepare ourselves, getting stronger on that. Every day we are getting better on this practice. Keep going. Just explore what make it better, what you feel good. Keep doing that way. There's no right and wrong. Your mind is the guiding star. It will take you there.
Yeah, maybe, if you do more, because I'm very logical like you, maybe if you do more creative things rather than and less logical things, do you think that would help?
As long as you enjoy. as long as you enjoy. It's not creative thing will help, because you're not enjoying, the mind is not there. Ekagrata only happens when it's have a rasa into it. You're listening to me constantly for more than an hour, but because you're enjoying it, because something your mind is constantly wrapped around, because it is liking it. It knows it's for it. It know making sense. I don't have to do anything to bring your attention to it. Yes. So whatever you do, if you like it, you enjoy it, well, that's your key. So even in the creative things, you decide what you want to create. I'm very logical. When I create things, I write. Writing brings a lot of logics and understanding and reasoning and the motor neuron skills. That's what I like. I'm creative, but in my own way, I still use my logical brain. Still there is a lot of reasoning into my writing. I write when I'm very much on the go as creativity. I write research paper full of logic and scientific explanations. Still creativity, but this is how I could be creative. So there is nothing that you have to paint. I can't paint. I can't be artistic. Doesn't mean that it's wrong. I can be creative with my logical mind also, as long as what you enjoy. If your mind is not enjoying it, it will not stay there. No matter what you do, you will not be able to sit there. It will make you so restless because it's wanting a way out. It's bored.
Yes, I think Smita ji, as you said, you cannot visualize. If you follow Thursday's meditation, which I did, like imagine yourself as a mountain in a peak far away. Listen to the meditation. Maybe that way will start visualizing properly and you will get into it. It's a wonderful feeling when you've done that. So it's going to take time, as Nehazi said to you, it will take time. So to conclude, all this, today's being mindful, I've made a list here and I did come up with 17, as I said. So one of them was self-judgment. So to source for that, you would cultivate self-compassion. And then there's boredom, and to explore mindful variety. External distractions, adapt and find stillness. There is also dealing with emotions, all emotions to flow. That is a hard way, but it takes time. Self-doubt, seek guidance and inspirations. Mindfulness as a chore. Why? You recommending it? Why? We have so many chores to do. And then resistance to routine. Mindfully embrace your change. Expecting perfections. That's to embrace imperfection. Comparison. Stay focused on your journey. Self-care. Prioritize self-care. You have to prioritize your whole day's routine. What you're going to do next, what you're going to do next. I have to prepare for the minutes. I have to prepare my food. I have to prepare for the grandchildren who's coming. You have to prioritize everything. How did you think I came up with all this? Start thinking about it. And, to think about all these things, gradually it will come to you. Even in meditation, gradually everything will come to you.
And to summarize all this to-do list, I would say one thing, be yourself.
Yes.
Because then just being with yourself, being yourself, whatever way you want to do it, let's be creative of finding our own way and enjoying our own self. Absolutely. Into everything and everyone. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Panna ji.
Thank you, Nehaji. That was wonderful. And next week we're gonna have Daksha Didi from BK. And also not forgetting today we have at 10:30 Hatha Yoga with Yogeshwaram. And then at 8 o'clock we have Ekadasi with Sangeet Aradhana. So please try and join in for two more sessions today. Have a lovely Sunday, lovely day. Sun has come out. Enjoy it. Thank you again and have a lovely weekend. Thank you, Nehaji. Thank you, all the participants.